If you are a teacher, a head of school, or anyone who's in charge of prefects in rural schools or marginalized communities, and your school cannot afford to pay for professional prefects training services, this video is for you. Hello guys, my name is Rumbi and welcome to my channel International Teacher TV, where we speak anything and everything about education. If you have anything that you would want me to talk about, be it teacher professional development, assignments writing, or assignments that you would want me to review, any issues pertaining to teaching and learning, comment right below. I will address your questions. So today we are going to talk about prefects training. I worked in rural communities and I grew fond of children in the rural communities. I realized that year in, year out, there are young leaders who are chosen to positions of leadership, but they are not groomed or nurtured, or because the school cannot afford. So there is no training that is done to help them understand who they are and what they are capable of doing according to the abilities they would have shown. So I came up with a program. I wrote a module on prefects training, and I came up with a program that was suitable for rural communities, and I went on to train many schools around Zimbabwe. But then I feel like I need to share the information with every teacher out there who would like to do it, who would like to train prefects or to do just the basic on a zero budget. This video is going to help you on how you can lay the ground, set up a prefects training, what to talk about on a prefects training. And my next video will talk about how you as a teacher, wherever you are, can start a prefects training business. Isn't that amazing? So you're a teacher at a rural school and your admin has pointed out that they do not have any funds to take kids anywhere or to hire professional prefects training, but you really wish that you could help these children gain skills or knowledge or understanding of what they're expected to do. These are the things that you should do. We start with the board, the prefects board. Suppose you're at a school and there are older folks or older teachers and young teachers. First thing is to have a prefects board that is blended. A prefects board that has both young teachers and older teachers. This will balance the team. Prefects training or prefects board needs to have some energy, needs to have some excitement. Children respond well to things they can relate to. With this generation of AMA 2K, there are a lot of young teachers, young blood that is energetic, that is happy, that is excited, that is coming into the system. And it is very important that as a head of school or an administrator, when you choose a prefects training board, you make sure that you blend your team with these young kids or young teachers. They are able to bring the vibe, the energy, and the excitement into the prefects team or into the prefects board. So that's point number one. Point number two, one thing we can do that cannot cost you anything is just to make the day special. Find a day that is not a school day where every other kid is at the school and you're just calling the young kids into a staff room or into a classroom and just be telling them, oh, you're going to be helping other kids pick the papers, you're going to be helping other kids behave well at assembly or stuff, something like that. No, make the day very, very special. Let it be a day just for them. This will help them to remember everything they learn on that day. This will give them value. This will give them confidence. And this will help them understand that the position they have is not just a mere position, but it is a position of power, authority, and it is a position where they are able to influence. How can you do that? You can choose a day like a Saturday, where all other kids are not coming to school and only them will be at the school, if you choose to do a prefects training at the school premises. Speaking of making them feel special. If you are in a school that is a rural school, high probability there are churches around or other community centers around where people converge and do stuff. You can take the kids there so that they move away from the school premises. You can take the kids on a school day or on a weekday, but you take them away from the school premises. The next thing is to provide food, refreshments, or snacks. Despite the fact that the school might not have enough funds, there is surely something that can be done to break a leg and buy just a little bit of snacks for children. I cannot really say what kind of snacks we can buy, but there's a lot that we can buy. We can buy cookies and some drinks. We can just buy snacks. There's a lot that we can buy. If the West is the West, then kids can bring and share. Those prefects, it can also be a way of helping them understand that leaders work together. Leaders are a unified body and they must work together and love each other. So if there is really nothing at the school, kids can bring and share. Bring food from their houses, eat together when it's time to eat the food. Food, let there be food. To go to the next thing, which is the presentations. What is it that you present? Right. I've explained earlier that I created this program for marginalized schools. So I have a module that I have written and explained on each and every aspect of prefects training. I've talked about why you become a prefect, how to be a good prefect, what are the roles and the responsibilities of a prefect, time management, conflict resolution. In that module, I've also written about projects, how to start projects as a prefect body that can even go way beyond school years. If you need that module, I have it on sale. My number is just down here. You can get in touch with me and then we can talk about how you can get the module. If you can't buy the module, there are some topics that are very important when training prefects. We start with why a person is a prefect. And then we get to roles and responsibilities. We all know roles and responsibilities of a prefect, and each school has got its own specific roles and responsibilities that they want prefects to do, but they are general ones that can be found anywhere. You can Google them on the internet. If you do not want to buy the module that I've spoken about, you can Google them on internet. You can find a lot of information on roles and responsibilities of school leaders. I will talk more about them in my next video, but now I'm just laying the ground of what you need to do at a prefects training. Then we talk about conflict resolution. We talk about etiquette and grooming. We talk about time management. We talk about team building and teamwork and everything. We talk about mental health, and there's also one special aspect that I've included in my prefects training manuals, which is project management. Young leaders need to be taught how to manage projects. Financial management. As a prefect's body, they need to have a project going on that will help the vulnerable and the less privileged at school. In this way, you are building leaders who are kind. You are building leaders who are courteous, and you are building leaders who will lead and help others tomorrow. Above all, there is one thing that is called team building. This is the reason why we need those young blood, energetic teachers who can jump, who can sing, who can dance with the kids. They need to have some team building exercises, because this is where teamwork is beginning. This is where they are understanding that they are a team and they need to work as a team. So it is very important to do team building activities. I'm going to do a video again that will show you different kinds of team building activities that teachers can do with children on prefects training days, but there are just a lot of them. We can use resources around the school. We may not need to buy resources. We have bowls, we have buckets, we have spoons, we have cups from the school. We can make use of those. So when you do team building activities, we are now at that stage where we consolidating everything that we have taught in theory. I've given you a breakdown of what you can teach in theory. Make sure that when we do games or team building activities, we have covered issues to do with roles and responsibilities of prefects. We can do a game that speaks to conflict resolution. We can do a game that speaks to mental health, projects. Kids can pitch projects, ideas that they think they can do at school. Do not ignore the fact of giving children certificates. They go a long way in stamping what has happened to them. Some of them, it can be the first certificate of their life. Some of them, it can be something that will make their parents understand how important this thing was. So ensure that you design a certificate and you print a certificate at your school if you have a printer. If you can't design or print, maybe you do not have the resources to do all that at your school, get in touch with me on my number as well. We do certificates printing and designing services, and we can deliver them to you, or you can come and collect depending on distance and everything. So certificates are very, very important. Ensure that there is a certificate ceremony where children are also motivated. Another idea is to use the cluster system on prefects training. There may be 6 schools in a cluster or 4 schools in a cluster, both primary and secondary. Teachers or matrons can organize a prefects training for all their kids in their cluster, because one school can have only 20 prefects and another one can have 15, another one can have 12. So if we combine them, they make a sizable number. And if we are to invite a trainer who will just come like us, where we come and train you at your venues, it can be cheaper because the trainer is just charging the same amount for everyone. And we can also have one central point in a cluster. Like I said earlier on, it can be a church, it can be a hall, it can be a school that is a cluster center, and kids come there and have their training. If you're a teacher, it is very easy for you to start a prefects training business. Stay tuned, hit the notification bell. The next time I put a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Bye bye.